Hello, welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about solving multi-step equations. As you may have figured out that this is a completely new unit. We are adding on to knowledge that we learned last year and continuing on to solve multi-step equations instead of just single step. So our objective is I will be able to solve multi-step equations. Right, so step 1, apply the distributive property as needed. And yes, I really need you to write these steps down because it's going to help you solve these problems and give you a place to start. Step 2, simplify anything you can first. So for example, removing fractions or combining like terms. Okay, step 3, perform any necessary addition or subtraction to get the variables on one side and the constants on the other, and then simplify. And just a hint, work with the variables first. Perform any necessary multiplication or division to get the variable by itself. And finally, substitute your answer into the original equation and evaluate to check your work. So let's look at a couple examples. All right, so our example is 4 times x plus 2 equals 32. So step 1 is the distributive property. So to distribute, remember we can draw the arrows. 4 times x is 4x, and then 4 times 2 is positive 8 equals 32. Okay, the next step is to isolate the variable since there is nothing else that we can combine with this problem. So we kind of are skipping step 2. We can't simplify. So step 3, perform any necessary addition or subtraction to get the variables on one side and the constants on the other. So showing our work, we have to subtract 8 from both sides. So we get 4y is equal to, and then 32 minus 8 is 24. Okay, and then step 4, perform any necessary multiplication or division to get the variable all by itself. So the opposite, we have 4 times y is equal to 24. Well, to get y all by itself, we need to do the opposite, or divide by 4 on both sides. So y is equal to 24 divided by 4, which is 6. Okay, 24 divided by 4, which is 6. So we want to check our work just to make sure that we're doing okay. So we're checking our work. Okay, so plug in that 6 to y. 4 times 6 plus 8 is equal to 32. Okay, 4 times 6 is 24 plus 8 is equal to 32. And then last but not least, 24 plus 8 is 32, and 32 is equal to 32. Because 32 does equal 32, that is correct. We like that check. We know that we have the right answer of y equals 6. Okay, let's look at one more example. 4y plus 6 minus 2 equals negative 14 plus y. Alright, so step 1, distributive property. Well, we don't have distributive property on this question, so don't worry about that one. Step 2 is combining like terms, or simplifying. Alright, so 4y, we can't really do anything with that yet, so we're just going to rewrite that. 4y plus 6 minus 2. 6 minus 2, we can simplify that to 4 is equal to negative 14 plus y. Okay, the next step is to subtract or add. So we have the variables and the constants on one side. And I suggested that you move the variables first. Alright, so I'm just going to pick to move this y over to the 4y. So I'm going to subtract y from both sides. 4y minus 1y is 3y plus 4 is equal to negative 14. Okay, then we need to subtract again to get this constant over to the other side. So we're going to subtract 4 from both sides. So 3y is equal to, we have negative 14 plus negative 4. So negative 14 plus negative 4 is negative 18. And then finally, last step, divide both sides by 3. And our final answer is going to be y is equal to negative 6. Okay, and then don't forget to check your work. Okay, so to check your work, you're going to plug in negative 6 to this first equation, the top equation. So 4 times negative 6 plus 4 equals negative 14 plus negative 6. Okay, so 4 minus 6, or I'm sorry, 4 times negative 6 is negative 24 plus 4 equals, we have negative 14 plus negative 6, which is negative 20. Okay, and then negative 24 plus positive 4 is negative 20. So negative 20 is equal to negative 20. So we have the right answer of y is equal to negative 6, since this checking works out. Alright, so please don't forget to ask 2 questions over this video, whether or not you are confused or not, like this picture. If you think you know everything that there is to know about this and this is super easy, I'm so happy, but I do want you to write down those 2 questions still. So thank you so much for actively listening, paying attention, and writing good notes, and I'll see you later.